And welcome back to Theros Beyond Death Spoilers, Day 2, although it's just going to be labeled whatever it is. A couple of more spoilers came out last night that I didn't immediately get to, just because I was done with the videos for that night, or yesterday anyway. But look, we had Purphoros spoiled. We also have Heliod spoiled today. I'll get more into those as we get into that. But let's look at this. So we got the Ox of Aganos. Is 2 red, 3 of any color for a mythic rare Ox, 4/2. When it enters the battlefield, discard your hand, and then you draw 3 cards. Escape for 2 red, alright. Exile 8 other cards from your graveyard, and then obviously it escapes, and you basically cast it from your grave. And this card, when it escapes, you put a +1 counter on it. See, I'm kind of in the same boat as a lot of other people with this. Like, why? I look at this, I'm like, I don't see a mythic rare when I look at this. I see a really good rare, but I don't see a mythic rare. And the reason for that is its escape cost, I think, is the big kicker here. Whereas most of the escape costs have some pretty hefty exiling costs to them. They're usually very attainable in many ways. But then first off, when it enters the battlefield, you discard your hand, draw 3 cards. Right at the bat, why are you... Because it feels it's escape, but why are you going to ditch your hand just for a 4/2 that does nothing else? That's the thing. For 5 mana, you get a 4/2, which can be easily just lightning bolt, paint, whatever it is, shocked. So then it's like, all right, well, I'm going to, use the escape cost, bring it back from the grave. Now it's a 5/3 that doesn't do anything on the field. It's just a 5/3 for 5 mana. 2 for the escape cost, and then you're exiling that much of your grave. You're only going to get maybe 1 or 2 uses out of that. So honestly, it's better to use it for the escape cost because it's cheap than to use it for the for its mana cost. Because quite frankly, and then it refuels the whole scenario. It refuels itself when it escapes again. So if you don't have any cards or have like 1 card in your hand, sure, that enter the battlefield effect might be pretty decent. It'll help reload your hand a little bit, but if you've got a pretty stocked hand, there's no reason you'd want to be playing this. Frankly, not something I'm a big fan of. Not the best mythic. But I will tell you this. I do believe that this and the fact that we're getting the original 5 gods again with Purphoros, Bronze-Blooded, and Heliod and Thassa, given the rate of being revealed, it's probably going to be revealed tomorrow. Given those, the gods are probably actually gods. The Titans, as they are referenced in their saga card, assuming they are in the set, which I have to believe they are. I don't think I don't think you reference them and then not have them in there, or have like the story be okay. Then they get released at the end of the story. And they're basically the Eldrazi of their world. I don't think you do that. You don't hint it and then don't reveal it. I think they're actually going to be multicolored. I think if we get 5 Titans for like 1 for each god, then they're going to be, or at least 3. I'm guessing at least 3. Then they're going to be multicolored. But anyway, Purphoros the Bronze-Blooded is 1 red, 4 of any color for a 7/6 god legendary enchantment creature. Indestructible, devotion to red, 5. Other creatures you control have haste. You can pay 2 of any color and 1 red. You may put a red creature card or an artifact creature from your hand onto the battlefield. Sacrifice that at the beginning of the next end step. Oh, excuse me. Now, I actually looked over Heliod and Purphoros' original cards, and I have to say that so far he's the only god. Thassa may change this, but he's the only one who actually got a buff in his stats. He didn't, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was a 6/6 originally, or like a 5/6. No, he was a 6/5. That's it. He was a 6/5. Now he's a 7/6. He's the only god who's actually gotten more powerful, legitimately, like stat-wise. Then you actually factor in his ability. Now, the original one's ability was actually a pretty solid ability. It didn't matter about color. Just whenever you play a creature, you basically shock your opponent for 2. This one, however, gets all the creatures you control haste, no matter what they are. So you then add the fact that you can now put creatures from your hand onto the battlefield, and you can put pretty much as many as you want into your hand. You could easily overrun your opponent. I heard someone even just bring Blightsteel out and just screw over opponents. Like, that's kind of dirty. Bring a worm coil engine out And then that way it swings in. Then it sacrifices, and you still get the other 2 worms. Oh, combo, baby, right there. I would love to do something like that. Yeah, Purphoros is, I think, one of the few gods that is at least as good as his original. He's 1 mana more, which makes sense. They kind of upped his effects a little bit. I think he's a bit more versatile than the original one, because the original one just shocked when a creature came in, so you basically need to be able to cast creatures. And it pumped them up. This one gives them, oh god, what's the terminology? It gives them, not haste, it's there's a terminology that I'm blanking on. It gives them advantage. It gives them, they are the first ones to act, basically. Why am I blanking? I know the terminology, and I'm going to just randomly say it as the video goes on. Point being, yeah, these guys, this is a really good card. So far, I'd say the red one's the best one. At least of the 3 we've seen, sort of. The red one, then the green one, and then I think the black one's honestly, Eros is the worst one. Storm Herald, though. 1 red, 2 of any color for a 3/2. I'm not going to bother enlarging all of them at this point. Storm Herald, as I said, 3/2 for 3, 1 red, 2 of any color with haste, rare human shaman. When it enters the battlefield, you may return any number of aura cards from your graveyard to the battlefield attached to a creature you control. Exile those auras at the beginning of your end step. If those auras would leave the battlefield, exile them instead of putting them anywhere else. So essentially, you get one more use out of any of your auras in the grave. Which, if you're trying to get that final swing in, solid. Those would leave the battlefield. Yeah, and I'll tell you what though, this is one of those things that this is only good. I mean, it's fine for early game if you want to get that quick 3/2 swing in, but because it's haste gives it God. I'm blanking on the term. Agency? No, it gives it not proficiency. It gives it. I'm blanking on the term. I'll probably remember it when the video's over. It's really only good for that 1 swing in. But if you got like on a fly or something like that, then 1 swing could be the game killer. So, yeah. Anyway, the Canora's Hound of Eros. Now, I think, here's the thing. Eros is a card that we do have, but it's the Buy a Box promo. I think what we're getting is we're not going to see the multicolor gods in the set, except for the God of Destiny. What we're going to be seeing is cards that are associated with them. For instance, the Hound of Theros. In this case, he's 1 black, 1 white, 1 of any color for a legendary Hound, a Cerberus. 3/3. Vigilance, Menace, and Lifelink. Creatures in the graveyards can't enter the battlefield, and players can't cast spells from the graveyards. Essentially, this is Cerberus. This is legitimately Cerberus. The Hound that prevents you from escaping the underworld. When you have a 3/3, 4/3, right there you have a decent stat card. You add Vigilance on there, becomes pretty good. Menace, you become very good and dangerous. Lifelink, now you're just being a dick, and then you can't use any of the escape effects. Now you're just messing with people. That's a damn good card. Anyone who pulls that's going to be in white and black. God help you if they pull 2 of them. Treacherous Blessing is 1 black, 2 of any color for an enchantment. Enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. Whenever you cast a spell, you may lose 1 life. And when this card becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. Essentially, you've made an illusion enchantment, which is, alright, that's fine. You're going to want to get rid of this immediately afterwards. Now, luckily, there are cards that will target enchantments, get rid of enchantments, all that. Otherwise, you are going to be screwed otherwise. Otherwise, decent, I suppose. Well, actually, kind of. It's draw 3 for 3. That's all it is. And that's good, but you need to get rid of it immediately. Cling to Dust, 1 black, instant, uncommon. Exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature, you gain 3 life. Otherwise, just draw a card. And you can use its escape cost to cast again for black, 3 of any color, and then exile 5 other cards, which, to be fair, not the worst. Honestly, you're probably just going to want to use the 1 time, and I think that's the thing with a lot of these escape cards, is that you'll use it the 1 time, and then you'll have to remember if you have it in the grave or not. Like, if you're behind on you're behind on cards like your board state isn't that great, everything along those lines. Then you remember, oh, I got a couple creatures in the grave I can actually cast. It's not bad. It's not bad. Nadir Kraken. Now I was reading some of the forums like for MTG Salvation, which to be fair, a lot of the people, it's fun to see their comments, but whatever. And I'm not getting the hate on this card. A lot of people are disappointed with this card. Nadir Kraken. 2 blue, 1 of any color for a 3/2 Kraken. Maybe it's because of the stats right there that people aren't liking it. It's like, it's a Kraken, but it's a 3/2. Yeah, it's a 3 mana Kraken. What are you expecting? Then, when you draw a card, you may pay 1 of any color. And if you do, put a +1 counter on this card and create a 1/1 blue tentacle creature token. Essentially, taking out the tentacles doesn't matter. Because they act as their own separate creatures. Look, this is a good card. Because it doesn't say when you draw 1 or more cards, you can just, if you draw 3 cards, let's say with your Treacherous Blessing, then if you've got 3 or more mana, you can pay those 3 mana and create 3 tentacle creature tokens. This thing is very good. I'm not certain where the hate is coming from with this card. It's a good card because you're not only pumping up the 1 creature you have continually, but you're also creating more bodies to block. I will say, though, I would have liked to seen it have at least a keyword on there. Not maybe a hexproof or a reach or something like that. It's too small to start out with to have trample. Flash, maybe. I mean, I don't think that would have made sense. But, a reach, honestly, would have made a lot. If you look at the size of those tentacles in the picture, which I love the full art of that, it would make sense to give it reach. So, I don't know. Hell. I mean, you don't almost never. In fact, I don't even know if you've ever seen it on Blue Card. Double strike or first strike would have honestly made some sense. But honestly, probably putting a keyword on this, unless it were reach, would have made this like mythic rare, I think, in terms of status. Especially if you give them like the reach to all, not just the Kraken, but the tentacles. At that point, then I think you actually have to consider putting into mythic rare area. Because now they're keywords and they can just, continually just grow in size. Plus, this is not a legendary creature. You could have multiples of this on the field. And I mean, you can make that work, but truth be told, you'd probably only have the one. Have multiple copies, but only on the one. Good card, though. I like it personally, but I'm a blue guy. Blue guy who likes big creatures. Escape Velocity. 1 red, uncommon, aura. Enchant creature has +1/+0 and has haste. And this you can escape for 1 red and 1 of any color, and only exile 2 cards, which makes it one of the cheaper exile costs, escape costs. I mean, if that's the case, then look, your Storm Herald, that great card to work with your Storm Herald, absolutely. It's a standard card. It's a standard solid card. These cards have been revealed. They just haven't really. They're obviously like scanned from somewhere, or the image wasn't good. That's why you don't actually get the art on it. But Aphemina. I keep putting an N in it. Aphemia. Oh god. Cacophony. Wow. Cacophony? Anyway, legendary enchantment creature Harpy. Flying 2/1 for 2. 1 black, 1 of any color. Beginning of your end step, you may exile enchantment from your graveyard, and if you do, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token into play. Look, it's a May effect, so you don't have to get rid of your enchantments. You can choose what enchantments to get rid of. You have to be in a relatively enchantment-heavy deck, otherwise it's just a 2/1 flyer, which are fine, but you're not getting much else out of it. But on that note, in this set, in this sealed environment, this is a good card. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this card at all. So, yeah, it's a good card. You're going to be getting some bodies, which works with that Timerit's call or something. The saga that works with zombies works well with that. So, it's not bad. It's not bad. Inspire Fear, 1 green, 3 of any color for an instant. And that was rare, by the way, I'm pretty certain. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn, except combat damage that will be dealt by enchanted creatures or enchantment creatures. Then you scry 2. Well, that's all well and good. Unfortunately, outside of this like set we're going to be going into, wouldn't be bad. You're going to prevent all day. It's a fog, and you're going to scry 2. So the 4 mana cost, that's not bad. In this format, you're going to have some problems. There's better things to be playing than that. Banishing Light, 1 white, 2 of any color for an enchantment. Enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Banishing Light leaves the battlefield. Essentially, you just reprinted Journey to Nowhere. Is it Journey to Nowhere I'm thinking of? Or what am I thinking of? There's one that's 2 mana, one that's 3 mana that do the exact same thing. I think it's Journey to Nowhere. I think I'm thinking of the right one. Journey to Nowhere? Anyway, yeah, or if nothing else, it's 1 mana more for Journey to Nowhere. I'll take it. Thank you. Yeah, that's gonna be prime. I was gonna say primo, but that's God. That's gonna be prime removal in the set, especially with gods. So yeah, that's going to be one to look out for. Commune with the stars. 1 blue, 3 of any color for a enchantment aura. Enchant creature or enchantment. Enchanted permanent becomes an enchantment and loses all other creature types. Okay, I get it on the first part of that card. Enchanted creature becomes an enchantment and loses its creature. It's no longer a creature, which means as a creature, it can't attack. Like, for instance, and if you don't think that's the case, remember, the gods themselves aren't creatures unless you have devotion, which means even though they have power and toughness, they can't do anything unless they're creatures. But why? I mean, yeah, you could equip this onto a god. So the god is just an enchantment no matter what. But then again, it's still an enchantment. And it loses the creature type, but it still has its effect that makes it a creature. So that, I think, counters that. Why on enchantments? Like, what about enchantments? Like, there's no like artifacts or anything in this set. At least not yet. Maybe there are. There's no. Oh, I just realized we could be seeing an enchantment planeswalker this set because we still got 1 planeswalker coming up. That would be cool. In which case, but. Yeah, because let me put it this way. If we see something new with enchantments that we haven't seen, like an enchantment planeswalker or enchantment artifacts, enchantment lands, then that's different. Then I could see the reason behind the enchantment part of that. But as of right now, I don't see it. That could change though, so we'll wait and see. Otherwise, I mean, still, it's great. It's also another good removal because your creatures are done. They're just enchantments. Like this guy coming up right here is done. This one's going to be a sleeper to watch out for, by the way. Devourer of Memory, 1 blue, 1 black. 2/1, nightmare creature. Only on. I thought it was a rare. Oh, dear Lord. Whenever 1 or more cards are put into your graveyard from your library, Devourer of Memory gets +1/+1 until the end of turn and cannot be blocked this turn. You may pay 1 of any color, 1 blue, 1 black, to put the top card of your library into your graveyard. This thing is going to blow people out. I can tell you right now, this thing is going to end games. Because here's the thing. It's only a 2/1 on its own, but all you have to do is have cards go to the grave. Now, you can do that through other cards. Easy, no problem, really, when you break it down. Or you could just use that with his ability. Let's focus on his ability, because let's assume you don't have anything at the time that will allow you to put cards from your library to your grave. So it's his ability you're going to be going off of. You immediately just put 1 card into the grave. You make him a 3/2, hit for 3. 3 damage that can't be blocked is not something to take lightly, especially if you have other things dealing damage. But let's go even further. Let's go later in the game. Let's say you got, I don't know, 6 of them on out right now, and this guy's out in the field. Maybe even got multiples of these. But let's just say 1's out in the field. That means, actually, no, let's say you have 2 out in the field. Let's just say that. Because you can have multiple. It's not legendary or anything. You have 2 on the field, 6 mana. You use this effect twice. You just made both of them 4/3 unblockables for the turn. That is this, because let's be clear, it's 1 or more cards go to the grave, but you can use that individually, that ability individually, because that's not, you don't stack the ability into one activation of the ability. You do that individually. This thing is going to destroy people. Mark my words, that thing is going to end games. Let's see here where we are for time. I'm actually doing pretty well. I'm pretty much done with the cards that have been spoiled. We might get one or more before the night's done, but this is pretty much it. Heliod, Son Crown. This is another guy who went down in terms of his power and toughness. His toughness, I believe, was a 5, or his original stats were 5/6. Now he's a 5/5, but he costs 3. Yeah. Okay. So he costs 3. And this is another one I was seeing people complain about. I was like, really? Okay. Anyway, 1 white, 2 of any color. 4/5/5. Enchantment God. Indestructible. Devotion to white 5. Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on target creature or enchantment you control. You may pay 1 white, 1 of any color. Another target creature you gains lifelink till the end of the turn. This guy, now first off, he doesn't actually do much on his own. I'll give you that. But he costs 3. He is insanely easy. Thassa was the cheapest of the original 5. He's Thassa. He's basically white Thassa in terms of his stats. He's insanely easy to get out. That devotion's not going to be that difficult. And then you can easily just lifelink. You're going to be in a deck probably that's going to be using life gain of some kind involving this guy, which means he'll be able to pump himself up. He'll be able to pump the other creatures up. Look, I know people kind of like want to see some new elements out of certain colors, but you have to understand sometimes where a set lies in terms of that. When are you going to be seeing that? Is this the set that I'm going to see something new out of this color? And I can tell you right now, the Heliod's a bomb. Like, you slap that guy down, you're gonna have a problem. Absolutely. Idyllic Tutor, 1 white, 2 of any color for a sorcery rare. Search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Diabolic Tutor for an enchantment card. Still, I mean, I'll use these in my God deck, absolutely, because it'll make getting a God so much easier. And, the full art, not bad either. Let's see here. Artris, Oracle of Half-Truths. 1 black, 1 blue, 2 of any color for a 3/2 human advisor, menace. When it enters the battlefield, the target opponent looks at top 3 cards of your library, separates them into a face-down pile and a face-up pile. Put 1 pile into your hand and the other into your grave. Okay, see, it's a good card. But I'm curious. Why face up and face down if you're not going to illustrate the point that you're not supposed to look at the face down pile? I mean, I'm assuming that's the case. You're not supposed to be allowed to look at the face down. That's why it's face up, face down. I'm going to assume that's the ruling, because otherwise there's no point. You just make 2 piles. I don't know. I mean, it's a good card, ultimately. And so I'm assuming that's what they're going with. Assuming the whole pile thing, like the face up, face down. This is going to be a tricky card. This card can either screw you over, or it could be a blessing. We'll have to wait and see on that. But it's a good card overall. A 3/2 for 4 mana with Menace, that's good on its own. The fact it's got an ability that will eventually get you a card, at least one card, that's nothing wrong with that. Last one for today. I'm assuming I could update them. I'm not going to update them. Whatever. Let's see here. Towering Wave Mystic. 1 blue, 1 of a color for a 2/1 Merfolk Wizard. When it deals damage, whenever this card deals damage, not when it deals it to a player or a creature, but when it deals damage, good to know. Target player puts that many cards from the top of their library into their graveyard. Love me some mill cards, love me some merfolks, and love me some merfolks that mill. That's a pretty decent card. It just has to deal damage. So, yeah, good for it. Pump it up a little bit. You could actually be, honestly, with some of the cards we've seen so far, let's see here, a couple cards that pump up. Give +1/+0. You can hit for 3, deal 3 right off the bat. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if we've seen a lot of cards that pump up right now. Going through the list right now. Nope. Ooh, yeah. Actually, we don't have a lot of. I'm guessing we'll get more cards that that boost, not just like enchantments, but instances, sorceries, just boosting cards in general. But yeah, that is actually a little surprising. You could use him in conjunction with Heliod, and Heliod would just pump him up. So there's that. There you go. There's another Staggering Insight, +1/+1, lifelink. Whenever this card deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. All right. Yeah, they're +2/+2. All right, so we definitely have some. Indomitable Will. The Clothius design. So yeah, we definitely got some. So yeah, it'll be a good, cool to see how it plays out ultimately. Till then, though, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Thanks for watching, though. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll be back tomorrow. But until then, Happy New Year's.